been skimming the bottom for a very long time. I was blackout drinking on repeat. It was horrendous. I often say I was like a derelict in my own home, to the point where my family, unbeknownst to me at the time, were actually discussing my own funeral.
Shanna Whan's battle with alcohol addiction began at 18, when she was sexually assaulted by a man she knew. And there were assaults by 3 other men in her early 20s.
As is really typical and tragic, I didn't truly seek help until it was almost too late.
In her 30s, by then a journalist, Shanna married agribusiness manager Tim.
It's not as simple as just pleading with that person to stop drinking. I did that for many years and, it didn't do any good.
Shanna was also struggling with infertility, and at a Boxing Day party in 2014, it all became too much.
It was really heartbreaking because all of my friends and family were having babies or nursing toddlers, and I was so hyper aware of being on the outside looking in. So I left that party and I drove to town. I ordered 3 bottles of wine and I drank them as fast as I could. I just wanted utter oblivion. And in retrospect, I think I was probably hoping I could find the courage to end my own life.
Shanna woke up in hospital with Tim by her side.
If you're alone trying to recover from this disease, I think it's just nearly an impossible task. So having people around you is really important, and I'm just glad that I've been able to do that for Shan.
He leaned over and he just tucked a bit of hair behind my ear and he just had tears rolling down his face. And he said, "You can't help this, can you?" And I said, "No, I can't. I can't." And it was like something broke and was released in that moment. It was like I had permission to accept the fact that I had no control and I was literally going to die. And I thought I'd given up on wanting to fight for my life, but in that moment, I knew I wanted to fight one last time.
You big bullhead.
And fight she did, abstaining from alcohol altogether and using her experience to help others.
It was just a lightning bolt of clarity. I knew with not a shadow of a doubt that my job was to go first and speak on behalf of all of these invisible people all over the outback, just like me, who were suffering and struggling in silence and shame and stigma and fear.
In 2019, Shanna launched a grassroots charity, Sober in the Country.
We've created an amazing online, safe, non-judgmental platform called the Bush Tribe. And in there we have hundreds of people from the country who are either cutting back or quitting alcohol, hanging out together, supporting each other, cheering each other on, peer support 101.
A year ago, Kate Alliston asked for help.
I started to question my use of alcohol, whether it was something that was simply a social thing that I was doing, or was I potentially starting to use it too often and to come to rely on it to take the edge off the pressures of life.
Kate knows that in the country, giving up alcohol can be difficult, even for those who aren't heavy drinkers.
I think it's particularly hard for people in the bush to choose to live an alcohol-free life because alcohol is so intrinsically linked into our social culture, and we don't have the same kind of support networks in place that you might have in the city, where you can kind of travel to suburbs across and go to a local practitioner that's not going to know your mother.
The Bush Tribe gave Kate the support she needed.
I haven't had a drink for about 18 months. Life's better, things are clearer, I have more time for the kids.
Sober in the Country teaches people it's okay to say no. But Shanna stresses she's not anti-alcohol.
We understand that pubs can be the heart and soul of a community, and so can barbecues and beers and whatnot. Rather than saying we want to change that, we don't, because we understand there are plenty of people who can enjoy beers in the bush. It's no problem.
Shanna's been named New South Wales Local Hero of the Year. Tomorrow she finds out if she's won the national honour.
I think Shan's really benefited from helping others. Just, it's given her a real purpose in life, and I think that's really important for someone who had issues with addiction in the past. So it's been a lifesaver for Shan, I think.
It sounds like a cliche, but I I am so grateful for my sobriety, and if a little magic genie landed tomorrow and said I can wave a wand and let you drink normally again, I'd say no thank you, I'll pass. Life is magnificent and I love it. Sober is good.
She's such a great advocate. I've talked to her a couple of times and she's been doing that since 2019, and just again highlights that in regional Australia there's often not the support services that we have in the city, and so you get stranded out there and you get abandoned.
Well, that's to be part of the bush tribe. You know, not everyone's got a Tim there who's there to hold your hand through it, to have that support group.
That's the part of it I didn't realise until seeing that, was that idea that they're so isolated. I mean, we all know that the Alcoholics Anonymous tip is you've got to recognise that you've got a problem, but yeah, even if they recognise that, where do they get the help?
Absolutely.
Well, here's where, if you'd like to know more about sober in the country, you can head to our website for the details.